All right. Good afternoon, everybody, whatever you are. I am in the state of Montana. It is 1:22, and I am here having about to have a beautiful conversation with Mr. Jason Diaz, and he is a friend of mine from Illinois, where I spent more than 20 years of my life, and so it's a great opportunity to talk to Mr. Diaz about community. So we're here today to talk about how to build community and how to build it from the roots and up. So we create a secure foundation. And in these times on our planet and in our country, I feel like the sense of community is very, very important because as human beings, we're not able to survive if it's not because we have a community, because we as humanity rely on each other for survival. So, welcome, Jason, and please tell us about yourself.
Hey, Mrs. Astrid, thank you so much for having me on. You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm Jason Diaz. As she said, I live in Illinois, born and raised where Astrid is from. Um, I'm 39. I've been around here my entire life, except for when I went to the Marines when I was 17. Came back home, went to school for a little bit, and ended up back here. And I've been here ever since. I have four beautiful children. Married with Aaron. We've been together since it's been a long time. 10 years. Well, not a long time, but 10 years. Um, and yeah, I've like I said, I've just been a part of around here for a long time.
That's beautiful. So for me, living in the Kankakee area, I used to live in Chicago in the early 90s. And at that time, I had only my oldest, Laura, and I was beginning to have this um, thoughts in my head that she was about to be ready to go to school, and I was having some opinions and feelings about the school systems in Chicago being so big, and I didn't want Laura to grow up in such a big city and in school systems that perhaps you don't know the community. So I something happened that we had an opportunity as a family to move down to Kankakee County, and it was I'm going to tell you at the beginning was an interesting experience because we didn't know many people. I mean, we didn't
Right,
know, we knew like a handful of people,
right.
um, but we started building a really nice community, and it was great because our girls, at the time I was married, and our girls grew up in a relatively small community compared to Chicago.
Right.
And
Yeah.
which I love Chicago. Chicago is
Yeah.
a beautiful city. I always tell people around how the choices that you have for food and it's an amazing city. But it was a sense of us being in a smaller community where we felt welcomed and where my girls grew up with having really close connections, and so yeah, it was a little bit of a change, but it was a really positive change.
Yeah. No, Kankakee County, Kankakee in general, uh, we get a really, we've gotten a bad rap over the years. And that started with, and I'm sure you remember, I believe it was 98 or 99, 1998, 99. Kankakee County, or Kankakee itself, the city, was actually voted the worst place to live in the United States. And I don't remember, I was younger. I don't remember exactly what the metrics were that became that idea, or what caused us to take over that spot. And David Letterman actually brought the mayor of Kankakee on his show and was like, hey, you're the mayor of the town that was voted the worst place to live in the Illinois in the country. And now that I get older, I mean, and I have my family and I've lived around here, and that it's actually, I'm kind of shocked by that, because I think we have a beautiful area. Especially the sense of community that we have is I second to none. For the size, I guess you could say we are a bigger area, but at the same time, we're not. Like, almost every, you know what I mean? Something. It's the 6 degrees of separation. Someone who knows someone, you can tie him in to that. And I mean, of course, we have our share of problems,
Sure.
which every place does, but we're also very unique in the fact that we're literally 40 minutes from downtown, 45 minutes from Chicago with no traffic. But at the same time, we got hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland. We're surrounded by farm. You know what I mean? So we literally, it's very, very unique in that aspect. When it comes to that, so we can have the best. You can choose to have the best of both worlds. I mean, there's thousands of people that live in Kankakee County that work in Chicago, every day, and so they get that. So, and we're still south of the southern suburbs where you still have that sense of community that we're talking about, where your neighbors, you're friendly with your neighbors, most of your neighborhood, you still see the same people that you grew up with for the most part. And in the sense of the community, like how we were talking about it, it's a feeling too. It's not just where you're at, you know what I mean? It depends on what you make it as well. You can sit in your house and and not interact with any of your neighbors and or any of the people in your town, or you get out and get and find stuff to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you said it very very well, that is how you really make it. And you mentioned that I remember that and a lot of people know about Kankakee.
Yeah,
It's well known everywhere.
absolutely.
Last year I was visiting my community, my friends back in Hawaii, where I worked as a nurse a few years ago, and I was standing in a line to get food at a gathering, and I said, "Oh, I'm going back to Illinois because I had plans to go back home to pick up a vehicle." And this guy out of nowhere, he said, "Oh, are you going to Kankakee?" And I said, how do you know?"
Yeah,
He started laughing because there are songs, and
yeah.
it's a very well known place. For
It,
me, it was
yeah.
a good experience, very good experience. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it is. Like I said, we are in such a unique I think the location as well, because people, like you said, some people, the city isn't for some people. Some people don't like living in the city, and
Yeah.
Kankakee County is far enough away where you don't have to, you don't deal with the things you would deal with living in a city like Chicago. But at the same time, you can, like, right now, I can get in my car, literally, I could go to Chicago, eat, and come back and not think twice about it, and that's where it at. But I one time when I was in the Marines, I was in Japan, and I was walking, and I looked across the street and I was like, "Holy shit, I know that guy!" And it was a guy that went to school. He went to the Catholic school, and I went to the public school. But it was I seen it, and Kankakee. And then another time, I don't remember where I was. I was somewhere in the world somewhere, and I had it. So someone gave me a shirt and it said Kankakee on it. And someone's
Wow.
like, "Holy shit!" Excuse my language. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but they were like, they're like, "Oh, I got family from Kankakee," and I ended up knowing the family, and it was just, and that's, and I think of all the millions of times. Let's just say there's a town called, like Flooring, Iowa. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, Flooring, Iowa." No, but I've heard a million different stories of people say, Kankakee, Illinois. You know,
It's so interesting. It's so interesting. So, and I know you're running for one of the positions in the city. So I would love to have your views about how to create and build better networks of community within, starting really from the ground up.
Absolutely. So I'm running for road commissioner of Bourbonnais Township, which seems incredibly mundane. It seems like, it's like something, but as you all know, and as pretty much the entire world knows, Illinois is considered one of the worst states when it comes to politics, when it comes to our politicians. We've had, I want to say, 3 governors just serve prison time after they've been out of office. And so it gets a bad rap. So with community, when you're talking about community like that on social media nowadays, everyone, I just had made a post about this the other day, and I've been talking about this for years. I tell everybody, we're sitting here in your town, you're sitting here in your town, and you're arguing with people you've been friends with on Facebook about something that's happening in Washington, D.C. Yet less than 5 miles away, we have veterans that are homeless. We have children that aren't eating. We have people with severe substance abuse problems, and yet you haven't tried to solve those problems, and yet you want to go solve a problem in Washington, D.C. with people you've never met, you don't know anything about. And in order, anyone, it doesn't matter what you believe in or anything, everybody knows it's a general rule that if you want to start fixing something, you start small. If you want to open a business, you don't go to Walmart and say, hey, can I buy your store? Absolutely not. You don't do that. You start with selling something. Let's say you crochet, you make 10 things, and you go to your neighbors. Hey, I'm selling this. Would you like to buy it? Absolutely. And that's how you start. So it's all about starting small. There's so many people around you that are hurting, that need help, that they don't know where to turn to. And yet some of us have the answer, not so much the answers, but we can help them. Yet it's so misguided, worrying about what's going on around in the world instead of what's right here in front of us. And you're not going to get anything accomplished that way. I'm not going to change. You're not going to change anything in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to change anything in Washington, D.C., but I can change something in Bourbonnais Township. I
Yes.
can do that. I can start right there. And then maybe people see, okay, Jason Diaz, I knew him. He used to be a ding dong back in the day, but now look at him. He's trying to do something
Yeah.
to better his community. And it's not so much for me, it's for our children and the future of everything. Someone has to do it. If we don't do it, if we're showing our kids all we're doing is arguing on Facebook or whatever it may be, instead of getting out and going and picking up garbage at the river. We have a river, the Kankakee River runs right through it. It's one of the most beautiful, natural resources you can possibly have.
Absolutely.
Yet, people twice a year clean it up. Well, why don't worry about what the president is doing in Washington, D.C. Why are you sending him $20, when you can donate $20 or keep your money and donate an hour of your time and go pick up garbage on the river?
Yes. Yes. And so we have our friend Alina here, and she says, "What's up, Jason?" And she says, "Yes," and true words.
All right. Okay, I'm sorry
So,
about that.
hello, welcome, love. Absolutely, I cannot agree more with your words. I feel like what has been happening, to humanity is that we like to point the finger out
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of us don't take responsibility for our own actions and for what really we can do for our individual selves and for our communities. If we, like you said, start, we don't have to have this start trying to cover all this ground, but start small. And that's really the name of my podcast, this incremental change, because when you build a foundation on small steps, yes, cleaning the river, yes, those are natural resources. If we don't have clean water on this planet, we can't survive.
Right.
If we don't commune with nature the way we're intended to commune with nature, we can't survive as species. So really start small with the really small changes in ourselves, in our communities, then that takes a ripple effect. And we will see it. We will see it by really the empowering of feeling the sense that we're doing even something that might be very minute, consider minute, but is going to have a ripple effect. I was watching a short video earlier today about this man that tried to commit suicide, jumping off the Golden Gate
I've
Bridge.
seen that.
Yes. And, for it's so touching to me because I have suffered from depression back in the day. And it's something that you feel like you're drowning into yourself. And
Yeah.
no matter what, and yeah, there are medications out there, and there's therapy, but a lot of times where we're really in those words that he said when he was sitting in the bus and he was crying and he was really hoping that somebody was going to reach out and ask him what he needed it or if he needed any help. So somebody looked at him and but they didn't reach out. So so he said yes, nobody cares,
Right.
and he went and jumped off the bridge and he survived. Now
Right.
he's telling his story, but it's really, that sense that we don't know really when we can change somebody's life with something so insignificant, but at the same time has a ripple effect that is enormous, that we perhaps are changing somebody's life,
Yeah.
entire future life, just by acknowledging the fact that if we have the sense of community, then we can help somebody else. Perhaps you have the knowledge. So
Yeah.
it's not about, sometimes having all these resources and you're trying to help. If you have the knowledge about something, share your knowledge with others. Share your time.
Yeah.
Um, and that's how we're building this new world that is surfacing. And I know it's been intense for so many of us. It's been intense for everybody because but we have to start home. We have to really start right at home with creating a better future for our children and for our fellow human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I like I said, I'd seen that video that you're talking. I seen that it's actually I seen a documentary. A guy, I think, and I know it was. I'm not sure if it's the exact same story, but this was like he was like a younger black gentleman, and he jumped, but he survived. And yeah, he said the same thing. He said, I was on a bus and I'm bawling, and nobody reached out to me. And earlier we had been talking, before we came on here, and I told you, that it was about a year ago that I had what an awakening for me. You know what I mean? I've been filled. A lot of my life I was always angry at stuff for no, what I thought was, no reason, and something happened. I seen some people on Facebook that well, actually, specifically this one girl, and she was always wild on Facebook. She was always, whatever. And then one day I seen her post, and she's like, I've looked back, and I've seen like how I acted and how I was angry at everything, and I was lashing out, and I decided that, whatever. And she just kept posting every day, and and eventually it was like, when I first seen it, I was like, oh yeah, right, like this girl, blah 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 blah. She's just talking out of her butt on Facebook, and and then every day she'd say something positive, and I was like, this is just annoying. Why don't this girl just stay off? Okay, if you want to be positive, cool, be it by yourself. But then it just started catching on to me, and I was like, well, why? If she's happy, if it makes you happy. So I did one time. I told myself, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, instead of getting angry, just one time, one instant, I'm gonna try this because this is what she said she did. I'm gonna try, instead of reacting with anger, I'm going to try to act with another emotion. And I did. And I was like, wow, I feel way better about my life. Like literally, something, it could have been dumb, or like I was telling you, it was like driving, like someone cut me off. And instead of me getting on their butt and getting next to them and yelling, I was just like, okay, well, they're probably in a rush or something. And
Yeah.
I let it go. Whereas before, the day before, I would have that would have consumed me for like 10 minutes. So what I started doing then after that is every time if I see people, I'd seen them on social media, if I see them on Facebook, if I could tell, if I felt in their post that, they're sad or something, I'll message them and say, hey, I hope you're doing okay. And, whatever, like today, um, today's, if you're having a bad day today, tomorrow will be better. I promise you that, um, go outside, go take a walk, put your phone down and just go sit outside and breathe in the air and do something. But what is the great thing about our community here is I honestly believe that we do have a lot of people like that. I believe I've seen it, myself. I've seen when something happens, people got sick. We just had a police officer pass away a couple weeks ago. He's married, father, 3 little kids. And our community, they came together for, I think a lot of them, a lot of people to show their support. I think a lot of people donated a lot of money to, to them to make sure the family was, going to make it, because it happened right before Christmas time. So a lot of the things I try to tell people now is put your phone down, put the news down, and just go out and talk to people. And you'll realize that we really don't hate each other. Don't listen to what the media says. You know what I mean? Of course, of course, there are bad things out there. There's a lot of racism and stuff like that, especially now, like that's a big subject is, race and everything. But, I went to school I'm Mexican. I went to school with Black people. I went to school with Mexicans, Hispanics, Asians, white people. And I've never felt personally that I was an outcast. I've never felt that way around our town. Is there racist people in Kane County? Absolutely there is. But those people they're very, very few and far between. The most part, you get out, if you come out and you say, hey, let's go fix this park up, whatever, you're going to have 20 people come to help you fix that park up,
Yes. Yes, I completely agree. When you mention things about racism and things like that, I wasn't born in this country, and as you can tell with my accent. But it still has been a program because we've been programmed to believe that we're different when in reality, the blood that runs in our veins chooses no different color.
Yeah,
And yeah, so really, it's a custom that we're wearing for the masquerade.
absolutely. No, for
So,
sure.
what difference does it make if I'm blue or red or whatever, really? But I feel like even though there's a lot of stuff out there with racism and such, um, there's a lot of people that are creating all this new environment where really we're very understanding of each other. And here our friend Alina says again, energy is contagious. Good for you, Jason. And absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
this is what's happening because although in one side we're seeing that there's a lot of this energy with racism and division, there's also, because this that is coming out, there's also a creation of awareness that's happening in people, because then we start looking into ourselves and really ask, where is this feeling coming from? Why do I feel like I am separate from this person just because of the way they look or the way their views are about whatever?
Right.
And so that's bringing awareness, and that's really planting a seed. So the media and especially television tell lies to your vision.
Absolutely.
So it's like, what is your vision, as a human being? It doesn't matter where you're from, what language you speak. We're all humans, and really it's time that we unite as species, because we're in a very, very instrumental time in our evolution as humanity. And we're seeing right now, if we don't unite as one um, we're in trouble. So yeah, we really need to build these communities from the ground up. So we're able to sustain. And you know, and perhaps somebody is really strong in one area, and then another one in another area, and so we need to come together. We really need to do that. It's time right now.
No, it absolutely is. And a lot of it, obviously, it goes back to the media. If you, it's something I try to, I'll tell people like, even, just like in my circle of friends, and most of them we do is don't watch the news for one day. Don't watch the
Mhm.
news, which I quit watching the news a long time ago, because
Mhm.
it's garbage. We all know that it's garbage. You're not going to tell me my world's burning down, because it's not. I can see my own eyes that my community is good. Once again, there's bad people. There's always going to be bad people. That's human nature. But 95% of us, 95% of people are good, good people.
Yeah.
Just people don't, and a lot of times, especially when you're looking at the local level, they just don't know where to go. They don't know how to start. They don't know where to start, and we have this perception, that most people have wanted us to have, like when it's time, when you want to change something, especially like government, like that's where I've chose now to. I was like, okay, um, I seen something in my community, and I seen something. Okay, I can start this small with this Bourbonnais Township. I can see. I can try to do. Okay, we have. I looked and I seen. Okay, they have all this money sitting in this account. That it's our money. It's my money. It's your
Yeah.
money. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the government's money. It's our money.
Right.
And reiterate back to the fact, we have children that don't eat, that they only
Yeah.
rely on, their only meal that they eat throughout the day is the one at school. So why are we sitting on $3 million of our money when we have children that aren't eating? So
Yeah.
let's get that figured out. I don't care why they're not. I mean, I care, but I don't care okay, if the mom or dad has a drug issue. The fact of the matter is, this child's not eating. I don't care if I give the child money, or the food. Well, then you're okay, and the parent. That's not my problem. That's not my issue. My issue is this children has to be fed. Now, okay, let's focus
Yeah.
on okay, let's say the parents do have substance abuse issues. Okay, let's focus on that now.
Hmm.
We have this money. Let's start paying people to start helping these people. Okay, nobody, not one person on this earth wants to take a needle and stick it in their arm, and put a
No,
substance. It starts up here.
absolutely.
So let's start focusing on that. Let's start small. We can do it. Let's find 5 people or 10 people and say, hey, you want to, we want to get you the help. I don't want to put you in jail. I want to put you somewhere. I want to get you the help that you need, or we should, as a community, get these people to need. You can drive by and bitch at them and bitch about them all you want, but if you're, what is that doing? Nothing. Absolutely
No.
nothing. Um, it's happened, twice. I've drove by and I've seen people with signs. I'm hungry. I need, and all of a sudden I'll say, hey, if I bring you to this place, are you able to work? I mean, are you okay physically? Yeah, yeah. They just need a chance.
Yeah.
That's all they want is a chance. And if you give them that chance, you'll find out. One bad, it can, a series of bad things can decimate your world. Just a little, little minor things can decimate someone's entire life, and then they get into, like you said earlier, where you just feel like you're drowning.
Yeah.
And if all it takes is someone like you, Astrid, to drive by and say, hey, are you okay, and do you need, you know something little can change their mind. So like, that's what I try to do now, every day, especially when I get on Facebook. I don't care if it's a picture of your dog. I don't care if it's a picture of you. I try to tell that guy, hey man, you look good. You can been going to the gym, or your daughter's beautiful, or your house looks amazing. Because that one little comment, because I know I get them. People give me compliments, and it makes your day.
Yeah. That's absolutely great. I actually learned that from one of my mentors I met quite a few years ago. He said that, and it stuck with me. He said that giving compliments to people is one of the best things you can do to shift, especially to shift certain energies. Like you could be at the grocery store, and perhaps the the cashier is having a bad, rough day with whatever, at home, or we don't know what people's lives are like. And by you giving this small compliment that perhaps to you is insignificant, it could completely change this person's day. And because this day is changing, it could potentially change a lot in her or his life. So yeah, it's the awareness really. When you start focusing on, oh, I'm going to do something on a consistent basis,
Yeah.
that's really what we need to do for like the changes to occur in your life. When you focus, that's where you focus your attention, that's where your energy goes. And if
Yeah.
you actually do something on a consistent basis, wow, like you have no idea how, like when you started changing the way you drive and not being too stressed out about it,
Right.
because we have no control of traffic, we
No.
have no control of how people drive. And so, but we created all of this chaos when we drive. And really, we put ourselves in this really dangerous situation, because then our focus is not necessarily going on our driving skills.
Right.
But now your focus is on, oh, she or he cut me off, and oh my, like, I hope your day is horrible, and like wishing all these
Right.
things. So then your focus is completely out. You get on the survival mode.
Yeah.
Your nervous system gets like this, and I feel the heat. Like I
Yeah.
feel the heat, and
Absolutely.
and it's like, whoa, like this is intense. So our nervous system jumps into this fight, flight, or freeze mode,
Yep.
and then your focus is completely not in tune with what you're supposed to be doing, and that's why accidents happen.
Yeah.
So it's like we have no control of how other people do really things, but we have control of how we react with the things that are happening in our life. And yeah, that's so awesome about giving compliments. That's one of the really most beautiful things that I learned long time ago that completely changed somebody's life. That's really, really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it really is, and it costs you nothing. It
Yeah.
literally it costs you absolutely nothing. And and what's crazy with the sense of community, and it's what we're like how we were talking about is I took in the Marines. We have to go, obviously you learn about war and stuff like that. And do you know the United States is actually one of the only, or is it's not the only. Actually, I believe it is the only country since we became a republic that has never been invaded. We've never been invaded ever. And they looked into that. They're why isn't it? And what they found out after a year, and like I said, this I learned this, and I was in the Marines 99 2003. Is they said no matter what it is about Americans, our sense of patriotism and our sense of community. So me and you, I let's say I'm a I'm your neighbor, and me and you don't like each other. I don't like you because you're Hispanic, and you don't like me because I'm white. But no matter what, if Russians invaded us or tried to come into our city, me and you are going to join forces and protect our community. And they say that's what has actually saved the United States over the course of the years. Is they know that we would come that we will come together as Americans and defeat the enemy. And I mean, and you think about that, it's the honest to God truth. Most of your neighbors, like I said, we don't hate each other. Most people that you can watch the news all you want, and yeah, you can see two lines of people screaming at each other, but go outside of your house. Don't worry about what the media is showing. Go outside of your house, go to your grocery store, go to anything, and you're going to see that we don't hate each other.
We don't. And none of us want war. None of
No.
us want people to suffer and die. We all want peace. We all want unity. That's really what this really the base of all of it is. Nobody wants to see anybody else suffer. And really, I was doing some training about a month ago, and I've been a nurse for many years, but this training that I'm doing is a little bit different. And really, when it comes to helping somebody heal from their physical conditions, um, it's like you just lose control of your ego, or
Yeah.
the other way around. The ego
Right.
loses control of you, and you just don't care about you anymore. You're there, and you're there helping, doing the best you can to help this person feel better, and you don't even have to know who they are, where they're
Right.
from, nothing. And when it comes to as human beings, really our nature is to help each other. So no matter what our ego and all this noise in our head, and of course the media tell us about, really our nature is to jump in and help. We're not
Yeah.
thinking, oh, is this person from you see somebody laying on the street and they're suffering, you're going to jump and help. It doesn't matter what color they are,
Right.
what political affiliation they come from,
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's our nature.
Absolutely it is. And what's when it comes to this is something that for the longest time got me. A lot of people want to be vocal and they want to say stuff and they want to get their stuff out, especially like on social media. And a lot of people are scared. And I was scared for a long time.
Yeah,
Is And some people might even be like thinking right now is they think, is I always felt like my past, like maybe my past will come up, or I've done everyone, we've all done stupid things, and people are so scared. Now people are scared that that'll come up, like, okay, I'm trying to do something good, but I don't want someone to come back and say, oh, well, you did that 10 years ago. And it took me a long time to get over that, to start, because I didn't want people to think I was being fake, like my kindness was being fake because I was trying to make up for something I did in my past. And and like I said, it took me a long time to get over that, and that's why I never ran for political office. I've wanted to change a lot of things. I think there's a
yeah,
million things that could be changed, but I was always afraid to do it. And then finally, I truly let go of what I don't care if you didn't like me, 10 years ago. If I did something wrong, I apologize, and I'll ask for your forgiveness all I want. But at the same time, I'm no longer going to let it dictate my life, because there's so many other people out there that have such great ideas. They're scared to just bring them up because they think their past is going to dictate, how people judge them or how people view them now. Well, they can only view you how you present yourself now. You know what I mean? So I might have been there now, but now I'm different, and I'm not going to tell you I'm different. I'm going to show you I'm different. And so that's what I've been trying to do. I want people, and I'm still not perfect, and I'm not going to be perfect for the rest of my
right,
life. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make mistakes. That's all right. But as long as you get up, and as long as your heart is pure,
yeah,
you have no unaltered or no different intentions. Um, you're gonna do it. You're gonna be, and people are gonna see that. And then it's like Delina said, it's energy. It's contagious. You know what I mean? Like, and I caught it from someone else. That I viewed. I watched them do it, and I was like, I was like, she looks a million times better now. Like, she just seemed, her aura, her spirit, everything just looks better. And I was like, I want that. I have four, young children. They see that. They
yeah,
see my anger before, and I don't want that. They don't, you know what I
right.
mean? That's not teaching them anything good, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we all done, made big and small mistakes, and but those are learning experiences. All of us go through big major changes in our life, and just in this lifetime, it seems like we have lived so many different lifetimes.
Yeah.
For you, I'm sure when you were in the Marines, it just feels like it's a completely different lifetime than what you're living now.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we're all learning how to navigate through life, and what happens in our experiences, we have to remember that it's an experience. You
Right.
don't have to carry that experience for the rest of your life.
Right.
If it's trauma, if it's pain, if it's illness, whatever happens to you, or whatever you think you have caused to other people, is an experience. And that's what we really need to understand, that we don't have to carry all that baggage with us where we're
Right.
going. It's like, okay, yeah, yeah, it happens. Okay, accept it, acknowledge it. If you have
Yeah.
to apologize, okay. I sometimes you feel like, all right, well, this person does not deserve an apology because they're the ones that, you don't have to actually, if you have those feelings, you don't have to actually, go and apologize if you feel that it goes against your beliefs. But come to an understanding that you don't have to carry that negativity with you and all that energy, because it's
Right.
just weighing you down. It's weighing you down.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it, accept it, make peace with it, and move on.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
absolutely no, you have to, and a lot of times, like like you just said, um, some people don't have forgiveness in their heart. You might have done something that slighted them, but not that's where you have to move on. Like you said, you
Yep.
have to move on. You're not everybody's gonna like you.
No.
People are gonna say, there's gonna be people that are gonna say, oh Jason, oh he's whatever, he's just blah blah blah, he's doing that, and that's fine. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
that's your
Oh, sorry
opinion, but
about that.
that's
Sorry
all.
about that. That is, I think, is my daughter's coming in the house, and she the dogs go crazy. So
That's
sorry
it.
about that.
Tell Laura I
they
said
always
hi.
they always do that. Oh, they
Yeah,
they go nuts.
that's
But
good though. Sometimes
I know. Oh yeah, especially Riley. I don't know if you met Riley, the pit bull.
I have
She
not.
okay, yeah, she will defend us too. Oh yeah, this
That's
girl,
good.
she's yeah, all of them.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, so yeah, absolutely. It's because all this. Sorry about that. Let me see if. Oh yeah, she's coming in the house. And so yeah, the sense of yeah, bringing all this negativity. Give me 1 second. Let
yeah,
me
you're
let
fine.
her know. I'm back. Now she knows. She will
Well,
control the beasts.
nice.
Yeah, so there's three of them, and the youngest one is a red healer, and oh my God,
Oh
this
yeah,
girl, and they instigate each other. They're
of course.
super instigate each other,
That's
and the little
awesome.
one, she is, yeah, they're all great though. They're great dogs. So yeah, so where were we at?
No, just talking about how some people they're not gonna forgive you. They're not, but
Yeah,
that's on them. That's in their people in their that's in their heart. Like I said, I'm 39. I'm going to be 40 in August. I'm 39, but and like I said, I personally had my eye opening thing, and it took a matter of time, but it was only on me. It was about a year ago, but even then, I caught myself. I catch myself. Sometimes I'll be like, "Well, that guy, he's just doing that," and I'm like, "Well, how do I know that? I don't know that." And I'm like, "Why? What is it going to hurt me to give him the benefit of the doubt?" So I'm going to be like, "All right, good for you. I'm glad. I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for you. I hope I want you to come through because, like you said, it takes one little. It's like the butterfly effect. Like it could just take one little thing. It could be saying, "Hey, man, I seen you do that. That was awesome. Good job." And he might,
yes,
where he might have been in for his, the last couple of years. You're like, man, I don't know why Jason doesn't like me or whatever, and that little thing could take off.
yeah, and what what I noticed is that a lot of you know it, we carry sometimes this perceptions a lot of times of people, and you don't really even know people a lot of times,
Right.
and you just create this image of, oh, this person, this and that, and so it's like, why do we tend to do that? We don't, if we in a, really, even when we're family, or with our partners, wives, husbands,
Right.
you don't entirely ever know this person.
No.
Like, you're your own individual self with your own ideas, and it's like you can't really entirely know a person, an essence of somebody. But really, the energy, like Dalina mentioned earlier, the energy is felt. And I've been feeling from you a sense of being very, very authentic,
Yeah.
and I sense that right away from people, and I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to know everything about what's going on in your life. Like I pick it up right away. It's just who I am. And
Yeah.
so I feel like you really, really can make a huge difference on, our small community of, the Bourbonnais Township,
Yeah.
yeah, and start making the changes and everything that start small
Yeah.
and that have ripple effects, and that your kids will benefit, and other kids and everybody else in the community, and
Yeah.
roads. I mean, we need the roads. We need to.
Yeah. No. And I'm hoping, I'm hoping like the younger people see, um, what I'm trying to do, whatever, because we can't. It's one of those things. Like I try to tell people, like we have to play with what we have. In a perfect world, of course, like of course, our government sucks. It's too big. But it's what we have. I can't change it. So let's okay, here's our playing field. Let's figure it out from here. Okay. So hopefully the young people say, okay, we come in, they can come here. Okay, look at what he's doing. Well, we can take over. We can get these people that are only in them for themselves, and I'm not saying that, around here that there are, but if everyone, if we have the sense of community, like I'm not looking out for myself. I'm looking out for my community, because I truly believe, I'll be honest with you, I went to the Marines because I got arrested with a lot of marijuana in Georgia when I was 17 years old, and I didn't want to go to the Marines. I was terrified of the Marines. I was a skinny ass kid from Bradley, Illinois. And the judge was like, "Look, man, you go to the military, you go into jail." Well, I sure in the hell didn't want to go to jail in Georgia.
Mhm.
I didn't want to do that. So I came back, and then um, when I did that, when I got out, and then I still did. Uh, I don't know how to put it in words where I was going, like, but I have a sense of duty. I personally have a sense of I owe this country or my
Mm.
town something. I do, because it turned my life around, from where I was going on that path, and my life has always changed. But the government, or the people, have always been good to me, and I feel it is my duty. And I don't feel it's your duty or anyone else's duty. This is just for me. This is how I
Yeah.
feel. I feel if I could, I feel like I owe something to my community, to people. Like, you have to take care of it. It's just like, if you don't take care of yourself, you fall apart. Well, if you don't take care of your community, it's gonna fall apart. And at times, I actually wish I lived in the city of Kankakee, because there's a lot of stuff going on in that, a lot of division in that town, in that city, and it sucks. I hate to see it, because it's so beautiful. There's so many things, but right now I can't. I can do what I can do here, and I can try to help them out. I can do what I can later on. I try to get involved with the people, the community leaders, but like I said, it's only me. I feel like I don't expect anyone else to do anything. I don't tell anyone, like, oh, oh, where's your sense of patriotism? I don't ever put that on people, because you have the right to not do that. But it's just something I want to do. I choose to do, and I hope people understand, like, that. I don't want anything out of it. I'm not trying to get anything out of it other than to make our world a little bit better. I can only do what I can do.
Yes, and it starts at home, and really, um, it's also what we all these judgments that we hold against people
Yeah.
and hold against ourselves too. Like judgment is huge, and we go into judgment, and once we're there, it's not a very good place to be. And also judging everybody else for what they do and what they choose to do. And look at where we are with the medical marijuana, you know,
Yeah.
in the whole entire country. And in my perspective as a nurse, I when I started doing traveling nursing, I came from Illinois, and I my first assignment was in Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
And at the time, Washington State was already recreational.
Right.
but not Oregon. And I actually lived across the bridge. I lived in Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah.
So I was commuting every day, and yeah, there were dispensaries everywhere in Vancouver. And you go across the bridge in Oregon, they didn't have this dispensaries, only medical. But I started going into people's homes, and it was an eye opening for me because I would go into their homes and they would have all their jars with their medical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And, or I would be like, oh, okay, there's a really interesting smell in here. And I would look around and they were growing their plants in the
Yeah.
living room.
Yeah.
And I was curious, always asking, not judgmental. And I would be like, oh, okay, what's going on? Tell me what's going on here. And they're like, oh, this is our medicine. And the doctors were aware of it, very well aware of it. It was part of our medication list.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were benefiting from it for pain, for anxiety, for depression, to sleep better,
Yeah.
on and on and on. And I was in no place to be judging my patients for their choices,
Right.
and so it was an eye opening for me. I was like, whoa, this is very, very interesting. And yeah, but it's been demonized so much in the past. And nobody is exempt of mistakes that we make, especially when we're young. I mean, we're
Right.
immature. We especially when like that age, that we think we can do pretty much anything, and nothing is gonna have any repercussion in our life. And
Right.
that's how we learn. That's how we learn, by
Yeah.
making mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. I could talk to you for 17 days straight about marijuana and the demonization of it. But you're absolutely you're correct. Yeah, you don't. Even now, you change. I mean, you're a different. We're different people than what we were 5 years ago. So like you said, everybody changes. Everyone. You can literally a person who we consider someone might be bad today. They can literally wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? Wow, I need to change my life. Something's not right. And yet you might have known for 20 years as that person that was an a-hole or something, and they tried. So that's how I try to view everyone I come into contact with. Like, if I never said hi to you before because I had an attitude, but I thought I was cooler, now I try to go out of my way and say hi to people. I try to introduce myself, even if you're just a random person in the grocery store and I'm in
Yeah.
line. I'll be like, hey, hi, how are you? I hope your day is great. And a lot of times it still goes back to that. We're so ingrained to be wary of strangers and people, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
uh, what I loved, that's when you come back to that sense of community, you know what I mean? Like, you have to get your name out there, and just talk to your neighbors, talk to the people in the grocery store, talk to the people at the gas station, like, tell them a joke, high five someone randomly walking out. It'll make their day, for the
Yes.
most part. Some people just some people just don't come out, they don't know how to come out of their shell. They just need a little guidance. And obviously some people are born natural. There are people that are just naturally able to talk and present ideas and stuff like that. And some people that don't, they just need a little coaxing.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And yeah, the difference that we can make in everybody else's life we really don't put enough effort into knowing how powerful we are.
Yeah.
We're extremely powerful as species. And I was listening the other day to a friend of mine that's very evolved, and he said, we human beings are a species, are a race of leaders. Not one, not two. All of us are
Yeah.
leaders. All of us. And so, like the geese that come from Canada, and or the school of fish in the ocean, that you think that there is one leader, and actually not. It's called emergence. and it's that they're moving actually together, and
Right.
everybody is leading, but they're really what they're following their own path of energy, and that's
Right.
how they move.
Yeah.
And you would think, oh, it looks like somebody is leading, but it's not. And this is how we humans, this is our nature, that's how we are really. And if we really connect to that in a deeper level, and just start helping each other and creating better communities, that's I think how our future, we start weaving really, and creating a really good base and foundation for our future.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does. It's one of those things, like, especially when you think about like our government, like you can't, I look at our government like I look at space. It's infinite. It's so don't even think about like the federal government. I can't, we might have this facade that we can change. I can go to Washington D.C. and change, let's say, our tax code. That's not going to happen. You know it, I know it. It's never going to happen because it's so far gone. But what I can do is change how much your garbage bill is in Bourbonnais, because we were getting overtaxed because so and so was friends with the owner of the company. You know what I mean? That's the little stuff that I can change, that we
Hmm.
can change. And like I said, 100% about the energy, like you said, natural leaders. We are all natural leaders. Most of, I mean, there's some people that are okay, that are totally fine being in the bag, and that's fine. Be it, but if it's just a matter of getting up and doing something small, and then you'll feel the joy that you
Hmm.
get, not because someone's seen you do it. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter, but just because you feel better about yourself. Like people that work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get someone, you after they work out, they feel amazing. You know what I mean? And for people
Hmm.
that don't work out, after they work out, after like 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 months, it's a life changing experience for them, because they're like, holy wow, I never knew I could feel like this. And it's because you gave yourself purpose. Now you're giving yourself purpose. Why just sit? You don't want to just sit at home, even if you, okay. So the gym might not be the thing, politics might not be your thing, but there's something you are passionate about. There's something you have a feeling about that you can do local, that you can do small, that will start, and then you can start seeing what more I can do for it. Okay, then let's get bigger. Okay, well, I can show Ash. Okay, Ash, you're into painting, and all right, well, I'm kind of into painting. Well, now you show me. Well, then I'm like, wow, you showed me a way you did it. Now I'm going to show that other person, and then it just becomes thing. It becomes a ripple effect, and if people start seeing you doing it long enough, and eventually they're going to start. They want to start doing it.
Yeah, the 4 minute mile, right? If somebody can do it, anybody else can. And that's how, we humans,
Absolutely.
we
What?
notice that somebody is able to do. And we really, like, uh, some of us humans are getting the skills, like free diving and holding your breath for
Yeah.
like
Oh,
enormous amounts of time. And if one of us can do it, the rest of us can train our bodies to do it. So really, it's setting the example for community, for unity,
yeah.
and for future. And so, yeah, we're about to end. So anything else that you would like to add, and to close?
Yeah, just but all I can say is just focus on start with yourself. Obviously, start with what you can do, and if you want to make a change, you can make a change. You just got to start small. Ignore everything. Ignore the outside. Ignore this. Ignore the stuff. Just start small. Just start something, even if it's in your house.
Yeah.
Just pick up clean your house, and then you're going to feel great. And then from there, go out, clean your yard. And then from there, and then you're just going to start getting that confidence back. And then, find someone that's like-minded, that wants to help. And you can do it. You go clean the park, go, go, check on one of your neighbors that might be disabled or elderly or something. Hey, just want to make sure you're doing okay. But don't let anyone hold you back. Definitely don't let your past hold you back.
Mm.
You can be someone new every day if you want to be. You can always be better than the day before. And just be kind to everyone.
Mm.
Even though you want to get on that Facebook page and argue with that guy, just skip it today. skip it today, and you're gonna feel better about yourself. And instead of putting a bad comment, go find someone who you think's having a bad day and put a nice comment and you know, on there. And I guarantee you, you're gonna feel better about yourself, and you just change their day. So just be good to everyone. We're all here together. We're not going nowhere, you know. So why not make it better for everyone?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jason. I really,
Thank you,
really
Astrid.
appreciate your energy and your input and your projects here with us. And
Absolutely.
everybody that was able to join us. Mary Beth says love and aloha your way.
Awesome.
Uh,
Thank you.
Same to you, Mary.
Absolutely.
Yes, and yeah, let's just so keep working on our communities and let's keep building our future for ourselves, for our children, for humanity, and know that we're always safe and protected, no matter what the world is intending to. Tell you otherwise. We're really great species.
Yeah.
We're amazing. We're amazing, and we can do so much more when we come to realize that we're united as human beings and team humanity, and we can do this. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
your time.
Thank you for having me, Astrid. You have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great year. And I hope I see you soon. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Say hi
All
to
right.
everybody from me in the community.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.